Hello, we are in Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, and now we are entering the section titled Time. And this is by Ken Wapnick, PhD. Time is one of the most elusive aspects of A Course in Miracles, as it has been for thinkers throughout the centuries. There really is no systemic exposition of time in the Course, just brief statements here and there. When I wrote my book on time many years ago, and then let's go down to the bottom, it's called A Vast Illusion, Time According to A Course in Miracles. I extracted the passages on time strewn throughout the text, workbook, and manual to provide a coherent presentation of the Course's theory. One of the reasons the material on time is scattered around is that our capacity to understand it is so limited. As Jesus explains in this passage from the workbook, there is no need to further clarify what no one in the world can understand. Yet, what meaning can the words convey to those who count the hours still and rise and work and go to sleep by them? Our lives are organized around the belief that time is linear. The workbook itself has a linear structure, there being 365 lessons based on a calendar year. Jesus' exhortation to Helen and Bill about mind training and study implies linearity. Is that how you say that? Early sections and chapters, and then later ones. Indeed, since all functioning in the world is based on linear time, the unreality of time seems inconceivable to us. Physicists in the 20th century, starting with Einstein, have spoken of time's unreality, but their radical ideas have not penetrated very far into the teachings of traditional physics, nor have they had a noticeable effect on the world's thinking. Yet despite our difficulties in understanding it, time remains an important part of the Course's teaching. Before we look at the passages on time, in this first chapter, let me review the chart. The phenomenon of time is best understood in terms of its role in the ego thought system. And I'm going to stop there and get the picture of the chart. One moment. Okay, so the phenomenon of time is best understood in terms of its role in the ego thought system. At the top of the world of separation box, we find the terms time, past, present, future, and space. The effectiveness of the ego's defensive strategy rests on the grim fairy tale it tells us of sin, guilt, and fear. We sinned against God, experienced the horror of this sin through our guilt, and became fearful of the harsh punishment we believed was inevitable. When the thought of sin, guilt, and fear was projected into the world, one of the forms it took was time. To the ego, linear time means we have sinned in the past, experience guilt in the present, and fear the punishment that will come in the future. Sin equals past, guilt equals present, and fear equals future. That is our world of linear time and space, the latter being an expression in form of the thought of separation and differentiation. The world of time and space is nothing more or less than a projection of the ego thought of separation and the ego's defense against that thought, sin, guilt, and fear. In response to our call for help, the miracle raises us above the battleground, a phrase that appears in chapter 23 of the text. We go back to the mind's decision maker outside time and space, where we learn that they did not come into existence until the error of having chosen the ego over the Holy Spirit was projected. Time and space do not exist in the mind, which is why the Course explains that in the holy instant there is no time, space, or body. This also explains why Jesus says, as we will see presently, that the miracle saves us time. Problems in this world cannot be resolved overnight. The geopolitical problems in the Middle East and Africa, for example, discrimination in this country and prejudice in other parts of the world, poverty, starvation, and disease, none of these can be solved quickly. Yet healing the conflict in any individual involved in these problems can occur in an instant. By letting go all thoughts of victimization, fear, and guilt in the holy instant, we return to our minds and ask Jesus for help to look at the situation differently. Thus does the miracle save time. On the level of form, again, there is no question that solving problems takes time. Yet the problem of an individual's pain, suffering, and dis-ease takes no time at all to solve and heal, for it occurs in the atemporal mind. Thank you so much for joining with me. I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and we will pick up the reading tomorrow. I appreciate you. I'll see you then. Love you. Bye.